Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A special welcome to the Deputy Minister who is joining us in studio in East London. We know that we've got a lot more that are connected via their digital platforms, from cell phones, from laptops, and some of them that are joining us from the auditorium in Mthatha. Firstly, I do want to apologize because the initial poster had advertised this lecture as a lecture that would have been held live in Mthatha, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we had to change the venue very quickly yesterday, and hence we are in a studio and we've got a studio audience that has accompanied the Deputy Minister. This event is the Archbishop Thabo Makgoba Development Trust lecture. It's an annual lecture that we've been delivering as a university, and it has been ongoing for a number of years with very prominent guests that we have invited, which include the likes of former Deputy President Mama Umlambo Ngcuka. We've also had more recently General Bantu Olomisa that delivered this lecture last year. This year we are very blessed to have the Honorable Minister, Deputy Minister of Kokta, Minister Prince Zolile Burns-Ncamashe, who will be delivering this year's annual lecture. But before I proceed any further, I would like us to observe a moment of silence, and each and every person can do a little introspection, pray to your God, and allow yourself to be spiritually freed, and then we can connect with our source. Thank you. As we start, and it's become customary because we've got a lot of people that are not part of our university community that are watching us on various platforms, and I would like to just give 4 minutes to give an introduction to who WSU is, what we are, where we are, and where we are headed as a university. And this is just a 4-minute clip that we're going to play, and then we will proceed with the program thereafter.
In pursuit of excellence, 9 strategic goals are defined and pursued under this institutional strategic plan. One of these goals is to develop state-of-the-art infrastructure. Significant progress has been made in infrastructure development in the recent past. Buffalo City campus has 7 delivery sites across the city. Refurbishments have been done to residences and other buildings in an effort to improve the teaching, learning, and living condition of students. The Potsdam campus site boasts a newly refurbished student residence, the PV solar project, the recently completed Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics Center. Major construction is underway at Butterworth campus with a brand new faculty building going up and set for completion by 2023. The building will accommodate lecture rooms and offices. Residence refurbishments to the main campus residence were completed in 2023, and students now occupy upgraded rooms. The campus also recently completed the sewer reticulation system. Student village upgrades and the Ibika water supply project is under construction. The Komani campus has 2 delivery sites located in Queenstown and Whittlesea. Although it is the smallest of the university's 4 campuses, its contribution is notable. In recent years, some renovations and major construction have been completed, which include new classrooms, an auditorium, and the admin building currently under construction. Mthatha campus is the biggest of the 4 campuses with 3 delivery sites, namely Health Sciences, Nelson Mandela Drive, and Zamukulungisa. Mthatha Campus NMD site recently completed construction and refurbishments of student residences, the KTC residence, the KGB residence, Iphulo residence, Hospitality Laboratories, Old Creche, the East Teaching Mall, Faculty Consolidation, Faculty of Educational Sciences and Natural Sciences Faculty Offices, Natural Sciences Building Marine Laboratory, Natural Sciences Building National Pollutions Laboratory, Clinical Skills Laboratory at the Old Library Building, the Transport Hub, the Health Clinic, the Vaccine Laboratory. The Zamukulungisa site has also seen progressive infrastructure developments, which include 2 new modern-style auditoriums, residence blocks currently under renovation. Also completed is the Center for Entrepreneurship and Rapid Incubator. The IT Hub, and the Faculty Consolidation of the Faculty of Commerce and Administration, Learning and Teaching Venues and Offices. Whilst there is still much to be done to achieve the goal of infrastructure development, the university is proud of the progress made. With continued support, collaboration and funds, the university will transform its infrastructure to meet world standards. Upcoming projects at the university will see the construction of IT hubs at Nelson Mandela Drive and Buffalo City Campus, Potsdam site. In addition, there will be a new engineering building complex at the Potsdam site. Walter Sisulu University, a university in pursuit of excellence.
Thank you very much. As you can see, that the university has been hard at work since Professor Ruchila Nolundisonga took the vice-chancellorship seat of the university. She has not spared us from the hard work that we have all had to put into it so that we can improve the infrastructure, improve the learning and teaching, improve the research outputs of the university. There is so much stability within the university, and indeed, the future of this university is very bright. As we continue with the program, we know that the aim of today is for the delivery of the Archbishop Makgoba annual lecture delivered by Deputy Minister Prince Burns-Ncamashe. I am now going to request Professor Cishe to do the introduction of the Deputy Minister before he comes up onto the podium to deliver his speech.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Honorable Deputy Minister, Prince Zolile Burns-Ncamashe, I'm inclined to say Zoliatrika, although thina bathembu women abakhahleni. Our Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Rushila Nolundisonga, inkosi zonke ezilapha ezimamele virtually, Chief Andile Makinana, Nkosikazi Limise Makinana, Archbishop Thabo Makgoba, our Chief Operations Officer, Mr. Sinathemba Mpambane, Walter Sisulu University Executive Management, Executive Deans of Faculties, HODs, the winners of the essay competition, staff and students, good evening. Mine is a simple task of introducing our speaker for tonight, our Honorable Deputy Minister, Prince Zolile Burns-Ncamashe. The Honorable Deputy Minister was born on the 13th of September 1965 in Alice. He is the son of Chief Burns-Ncamashe, a South African politician and a member of National Assembly for the African National Congress. He is married to Zolile Nomfundo Burns-Ncamashe, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Geza. He has 5 children. His education started at Gwali Primary School and then proceeded to Kyume in Lovedale College. He then joined the University of Fort Hare, where he graduated for a Bachelor of Arts degree, honors degree, and master's degree in social sciences. He joined the Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, in short, COGTA, under Minister Zweli Mkhize, as an advisor on matters of traditional affairs for a short period. The then Minister of Human Settlement, Water and Sanitation appointed him to lead as the chairperson of the National Rapid Response Task Team for the Department of Water and Sanitation. The Honorable Deputy Minister has been an active member in the traditional sector dating back in 1995, where he participated in Constitutional Assembly. He also became the first deputy chairperson of the Eastern Cape House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders. He served in the House of Traditional Leaders in the Eastern Cape from 1996 to 2017, and from 2002 to 2017 as the deputy chairperson. He was a right-hand person of the late Chief Ngangumhlaba Matanzima. The Honorable Deputy Minister was an advisor and spokesperson of the late sister of King Goodwill Zwelithini, Queen Noloyiso Sandile of the Amakakabe. Our speaker for tonight is a member of the African National Congress, serving in the Dr. Khubusana region, and an active member of Griffiths Mkenge branch, Ward 37 in King Williamstown. He is a member of the provincial election team and also serving as a co-chairperson of the sectorial work stream. He joined the National Assembly on the 19th of February in 2021 and served in the Portfolio Committee of Trade and Industry. He was deployed as an MP in the Numa constituency office. On the 7th of March 2023, he was appointed as the Deputy Minister of Traditional Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming His Excellency, our Deputy Minister, Prince Zolile Burns-Ncamashe, to deliver his address for tonight. You are welcome to the stage, the Honorable Minister. Thank you.
I'm not sure whether I'm audible enough. I take it that I'm audible. Well, Program Director, Ms. Yonela Tugwayo, Professor Songa, the Vice Chancellor and the Principal of the university, His Grace Archbishop Thabo Makgoba, Professor Cishe, the Acting Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs and Research, Dr. Anthony Masha, Mr. Sinetemba Mpambane, members of the academic staff, Walter Sisulu University students, honored guests, members of the media. It is with utmost humbleness to acknowledge His Grace Archbishop Dr. Thabo Makgoba, the servant of our people as a visionary, to be amongst us today, as I express my appreciation to the Walter Sisulu University in hosting the 2024 lecture. I want to start by welcoming the honor to be the preferred speaker in presenting the 2024 annual Archbishop Dr. Thabo Makgoba Development Trust Lecture. At the same verve, we are also saddened by the tragic demise of our fellow comrades who were involved in a bus accident coming from a very successful manifesto launch rally in Durban of my movement, the African National Congress. And in that regard, I would love us to observe a moment of silence, giving respect to all departed souls whose lives have been claimed by terrible road accidents. That would also include the wife to our dear head of chaplaincy in the Eastern Cape, Reverend Kwabaza, who has just been discharged from hospital together with his son. And on Thursday, it will be the funeral of his wife. Can we just observe a moment of silence? Benze baphumle ngona phakade Nkosi bakhanyisele ngokhanyiso olungacimiyo. On a lighter note, I'm sure as you can see your programs, I've not been allocated time. Ithetha ukuthi ke loo nto imfama ayinatyala kudala izenzela. Ndizawuqhuba ndiyoma apho inkosi ithanda khona. This event is really a rare blessing, as it is not too often that we pause to celebrate young female academics, giving them the opportunity to display their writing skills as we consider them to be future giants who will inspire their generation and the generation after them to succeed in growing their entrepreneurship, writing skills craft. Given the atrocious past where women were consciously relegated and systematically deprived of academic opportunities, I can't help but to reminiscent about Princess Emma Sandile, who against all odds became the first African woman to receive formal education at Zonneblom in Cape Town. During the 19th century. It is Princess Emma Sandile, through her capability and ability to write, that she became the first woman to own land in her own right. Not only did she own land in her own right, but she also contributed quite significantly to isizwe samaQwati eCala. That amaQwati today, they have land. They have land because of the writing skills which Princess Emma employed. That's an important economic achievement to own land, because it means they owned the asset. I must also pause for a moment to acknowledge Nkosi Mhlanganisi Makinani, unyana kaZwelivuziwe, umzukulwana kaNgwenyathi, uNgwenyathi kaSilimela, uSilimela kaMakinana, uMakinana kaMala, uMala kaNdlambe, uNdlambe kaRharhabe, uRharhabe kaPhalo. Chawe nabantwana begazi ohamba nabo. Thus, it brings great joy that the trust has distinguished itself as a family-oriented institution with objectives to have a greater social impact by addressing socioeconomic challenges, and further aims to provide educational opportunities, skills, and entrepreneurial development, as well as to promote health awareness. Yes, young women need to tantalize their appetite to have what my father used to call a Catholic taste. When you have a Catholic taste, it means as a student in the social science faculties, you should have an interest to know the basics in the science faculty, simple difference between physics and chemistry, understanding the difference between debit and credit, basic understanding of what it means when you talk about jurisprudence. That's the essence of Catholic taste, so that you have a universality of understanding. You are not just straight-jacketed on what you are studying, but you have a balanced and a gestalt view of what it means to be a university student. That's why it's important to encourage young women, particularly, to be interested in fields like actuarial science, artificial intelligence, and so on, because the world is taking that direction. The first and founding president of our democratic state, President Nelson Mandela, said, I quote, "Each one of us should never forget to celebrate their personal achievements as your motivation for the road ahead," unquote. Today's lecture is about celebrating each student that has participated in and those who embrace the essay competition under the theme analyzing the role of entrepreneurship in creating new businesses, economic stability, and economic growth for South African women. The opportunity that has been created by the trust is equal to all participants. And the motivation, therefore, is to establish an interactive base, not only as a competition, but to develop the urge to write and putting their thoughts down for public display. It is my assertion that an opportunity is further created for students to position themselves to succeed in applying academic skills, learned experiences, whether positive or negative. The essay competition presented an opportunity for each student to showcase their prowess and mighty skills of their pen. Interestingly, the invitation that was sent to my office caught my attention with a line that captured my focus, as it reads as follows: "The ATMDT lecture holds significant importance within our university's legacy, particularly because it serves as a platform for our female students to demonstrate their writing prowess on diverse topics pertinent to the economy and leadership in South Africa," close quote. The reality is that there is no legacy that falls from the sky. It is self-created through the practice of doing. That one that will set you apart for generations to come. Siyomana, ayizukwehla nje. You've got to do something that sets you apart. Today we will recognize individuals who have committed their time to do research and writing their life experiences by following the set guidelines to be used by the panel of judges in determining winners. By the way, all those who participated are winners. It's only that at a certain point, there is one or two who has to be the first amongst the equals. And I think Bishop will understand that language better. In life, I have to mention this. Success and opportunities come in a form of a competition that requires each participant for this academic year to take time in writing a winning paper. The goal is to put together a well-crafted paper that will set each participant apart from the rest of the other competitors without rushing for the prize money. If we look into great philosophers who influenced the course of discourse, whether you look at Pythagoras, you look at Socrates, you look at Aristotle, you look at Plato, you look at Hegel, you look at Kant, a great number of them, Thomas Hobbes, Francis Bacon, and so on. It all started by a simple idea. And that idea developed into a well thought through theory, which eventually influenced the course of discourse. Milton Berle states that if opportunity does not knock, build the door. This proverb speaks to the core root of creating your own opportunities. It is better than waiting for other people to construct opportunities for you. More often, especially in the fluid global situation where narratives are modeled to accomplish channeled outcomes. It's important that those of us who invest a lot of time in research and knowledge production will remain ourselves. We keep to the standard of academic integrity. We don't allow ourselves to be influenced. Program Director, South Africa as a young democracy will be celebrating 30 years in April, since the first democratic election held in 1994. Whilst the current government can be able to list visible and glaring noticeable achievements, however, there is still work that needs to be done to continue in improving the lives of our people. One of such noticeable strides was the creation of a Women ministry following the 2014 general elections. The social transformation, if it is to result in a real improvement in the quality of life of women, it will be attained only if it is underpinned by fundamental economic transformation. And women must determine that agenda. The gains of political liberation are unlikely to be felt unless there are considerable changes, both in the structure of the South African economy and its management of the development and transformation agenda. In the current state of our lives, we need to have young people, especially women, who are determined to break any boundaries of fear to evolve to their destined greatness by being able to see things and set vision. Let us realize what our constitution envisioned to unleash the potential of each and every citizen. Create equal opportunities. Businesses don't just start themselves. And for every successful business, at some point, someone took matters into their own hands and took a leap. I have to remind each one of us that you have a great idea. All of us. Let me encourage the young female academics that they need to be unique in posturing entrepreneurial vision. Swell the ranks. Seize the opportunity. I have to say, part of leadership is preparation for tomorrow. And that preparation is doing your best today. Small steps lead to big things. And dreaming about your own business is one of those first small steps. As the Chinese adage says, a journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. All of the planning and work you do every day, no matter how menial it might seem, will be the things that set you up for your future. Your Grace, Archbishop, it is important for me to mention that young women development hold a special place in my heart, and I regard the process as the epitome of natural wealth and power. Young women play an important role in society, and gone are the days where only boys had the opportunity to attend school. We should not view young women with a limited capability to cook, clean the house, those issues. But we must see young women as capable leaders in all spheres of life. Whilst we are cognizant, and of course, I want to say, we must not use this to patronize them. We must be deliberate and we must be meaningful. And that can only be measured on the basis of what we do, deliberately and consciously. So while we are cognizant of the March 8, 2024, designated as the International Women's Day under the theme, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, and take a stand with us using the #invest in women. Government has implemented gender-responsive financing to favor women-owned businesses and enterprises. The young female academics should shift to active economic participation to amplify women's voices. Here, there are hard choices we have to make. I often meet young people who say they want jobs. You get a person with a master's degree or a PhD for that matter, applying for a position of an assistant director. You have a master's degree, you have a PhD, but you want to be a clerk. What happened to that knowledge which you have acquired? When you started to take a decision to register for that postgraduate qualification, what was your vision? Did you want to be a good employee? Or did you want to use that knowledge to create employment for others or create opportunities for others? I think that is the course of direction we should be encouraging. In conclusion, my department has positioned itself to play a significant developmental monarch approach role to actively participate in the Agrarian Revolution program, which will be driven at district level to ensure that socio-economic development is realized and people's lives are improved for the better. Through this approach, it is our belief that the institution of traditional leadership will certainly have an impact in changing the lives of the rural communities. This plan will create opportunities for young women to participate in the departmental programs, especially Invest Rural Master Plan. This is a blueprint that aims to eradicate socio-economic challenges in our communities. Let me conclude with a reference to the UN women operating as entrepreneurs who employ more than one person in their businesses. That's supporting the needs of at least a significant number of people. This in turn contributes to community resilience, prosperity, health, education, sustainable development, social cohesion, such that communities can cope and build back a better future. The McKinsey Global Institute report on the power of parity shows that if every country in Africa performed to levels of its highest performing country across 15 gender indicators, Africa could add $316 billion to its GDP by 2025. That's more than 6 trillion rand. And I don't believe in this notion of Africa being the poorest continent when we have so much of our natural resources, which I think we don't deserve aid as Africa. In fact, we should be providing aid to other continents. All that we need to do is to create capabilities so that we process our raw material in Africa and trade or sell them as finished products. That's the direction we should be taking. And these are the opportunities which should be presented to us through the African Continental Free Trade Area. That agreement, if it does not talk to what I'm talking about, it is just as good as not being there. It's meaningless. So, issues of inter and intra-trade should be what becomes the priority amongst ourselves as Africans. Total gender parity could almost triple this figure. And research elsewhere has shown that countries and firms that employ women at their helm outperform men-led organizations. Amadoda ngabantu abahleli nje banento ethandabuzayo. Nangoku ungalibona ujonga even the wars that are fought everywhere in the world, you look at them, you analyze, ego yamadoda. Ego yamadoda. You look at Netanyahu when he speaks, you can see ego, nothing else. And everybody else, you just look at them. Man, ukuba ngabana ungasikubathathe ubanxibise ifaskoti uthathe omama ubanxibise ezabhruku abazinxibileyo baphathela amazwe, you will see significant difference. Because mama, you can imagine ungabi na ntlungu ngobona abantwana besifa. Ask yourself a question, ngompi umama onobukela abantwana besifa athi ilizwe lilungile? There's no way. So I really feel that makasikhokelo man ngomama. Sawubona umahluko. The report has also found that there is a future pipeline blockade when considering that women in middle management have declined by an annual 1% since 2015. They also remain less well represented in the formal sector job market. Whereas women make up 43% of those who receive tertiary education, they only hold 28% of formal sector jobs. Let's look at this. This is bad. Consequently, in building back better future, we must reset our economies and address those market failures that have impeded gender equality and our fight against poverty, hunger, and unemployment. Our understanding of building back better future is that we must catapult our development to better heights whilst improving the community's physical, social, environmental, technological, and economic conditions to create more resilient communities in the most effective and efficient ways. Women will also have to be at the heart of the post-pandemic build back better responses at a family, community, national, and global levels. These responses must adopt a business unusual approach. It can't be business as usual. Thank you. The responses should also take into cognizance the current geopolitical landscape and possible scenarios of the future. This will therefore require that we place an added emphasis on the skills revolution, with biases on the education and skilling of women, as well as the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics areas. In these areas, women are grossly underrepresented. This is also the case in jobs for the future, where the gender gap ranges from 58% in the areas such as cloud computing to 19% in areas such as product development. Skilling of women must also be complemented by the improvement of their health and nutrition statuses, bearing in mind that only 30% of science professionals in Africa are women. Let's change the trajectory. I'm looking forward to that day when we would have the Secretary General of the United Nations being a woman. With the labor force, it's expected to grow. We will need to create at least new jobs annually. We must focus on the promotion of innovation and the modernizing sectors that are largely occupied by youth and women. The sectors include the creative sector and industries, as well as agriculture, manufacturing, and the oceans economy. These human development efforts ought to be complemented by removing the barriers of entry without, of course, compromising the standards, and participation in the mainstream of the economy. These barriers include safety, workplace transformation, and access to financing. To address these initiatives that will enable financial, digital, and legal literacy need to be implemented. The public sector and private companies must also set and implement clear goals, targets, and budgets for gender diversity and responsiveness. Budget is key. Budget is key. Professor Songa, we must also extend the horizon of participation of women in sectors beyond the micro, informal, and care sectors. Women have also been at the core of response plans during disasters and social challenges. This means we must urgently build on these capacities and capabilities whilst offering young women the necessary economic, material, and psychosocial support. Collectively, we must pursue a socio-developmental path that shall integrate and secure communities which are resilient, prosperous, cohesive, connected, free from sexual and racial discrimination, and climate smart. This is the foundation of an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful South Africa, driven by its own citizens and representing a dynamic force in the global arena. I thank you. Diabulela. Kialebo.
I am requesting the Deputy Minister to hold on for just a moment. I am asking Mamu Thabo Hendricks to just come forward and present a gift to you and your wife from Walter Sisulu University to thank you for honoring this invitation and being present with us today.
This is a blanket.
All right.
This is for you. And this is a poncho.
All right. Thank you so much. I will tell my wife, and of course, Walter Sisulu University is her alma mater. And of course, Walter Sisulu University is always the best, only second to Fortune.
Thank you so much, Deputy Minister. We have had most of our audience online, and we acknowledge the executives that are online. We also have Unkosu Khangu, who was one of the first to respond. In fact, when I arrived here a little earlier on to check how many people had logged in online, he was one of the first, Khanuka, sorry. He was one of the first to be online in preparation and ready to listen to the Deputy Minister. We also have amongst us Finance Director Wetu Ms. Zolile. One of these days I am going to change and call you Mrs. But for now we're still using your maiden name because that's what is officially on our books at the university. Thank you so much. You know, I was very touched by that, Deputy Minister, especially once you started talking about the power of women and how we are able to transform these situations. I will say this as a matter of fact, without fear or favor, by the way. Vice Chancellor Wetu is the first female Vice Chancellor of this university, including its predecessor university, which were University of Transkei, Border Technikon, Eastern Cape Technikon. First female. She has taken the bull by its horns. Now you would have read Chief Makinana and even heard Nasas Ndabeni, kuya strike, kukona issue ya this and that and the other at WSU. Those problems that we used to have significantly reduced. One of the things that really hurt our Vice Chancellor was the living conditions of some of our students and some of the dilapidated buildings that they were studying in. The reason we see a completely transformed Walter Sisulu University with state-of-the-art infrastructure and with very little backlog that we still need to fix, but money is coming in to get us upgraded to the level of blue chip universities or the historically white institutions. It's because of a fearless woman that took the bull by its horns, was not willing to settle for second best or that poor university that we used to be known as. And our improvement as an institution, from an academic project perspective, infrastructure projects that have taken place are because of someone who is extremely passionate about development and getting us to a level where we excel. And the payoff line that you see on our banners, in pursuit of excellence, is something that she came with, and it was very intentional because she wanted this university to excel. And what we usually do is you say something until you actually believe it. None of us really believed this in pursuit of excellence when she started, but because we gained momentum in developing this university to be what it is today, now we all can stand proudly and say, indeed, we are in pursuit of excellence as a university. So that one really touched my heart, Deputy Minister. We are moving on. So this Archbishop Makgoba Development Trust project is two phases. The annual lecture, which has been delivered by our Deputy Minister of Cocta, and there's also an essay writing competition for our students as well. We are now going to cross over to Dr. Anthony Masha, who is based in Komani, and he is going to just give us a feedback on how the competition worked out, who are the winners as well, and he'll also talk about the adjudication process so that we all know that it was free and fair and open, and he will then announce the winners as well. I would like to cross over to you, Dr. Masha.
All right, good evening and thank you, Mrs. Tukwayo. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of our main speaker today, Honorable Prince Ncamashe, who has given such a lovely talk, enjoyable, insightful as well. He has a team that he's brought up with. I greet you, good evening. I greet all of you that are there in presential. and those who are tuned online, from our Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Rochella Nolili Songa, her team, management team, students of WSU, lecturers, and society at large. I would like to also credit the adjudicators who have been with me in this journey to ensure that we have 3 capable winners. 4 for today is a first. I'm going to announce that in a short time. So what usually happens is that every time there is a memorial lecture like this, there is usually a contribution of 10,000 Rand given to students to write an essay. This year's essay was titled, Examine the Significance of Entrepreneurship in Fostering the, excuse me, there's something that has just happened here. Examining the significance of entrepreneurship in fostering the establishment of new enterprises, enhancing economic stability, and driving economic expansion among women in South Africa. So students write this essay, they send it to an email address that is from the university. Only one person has access to that email address. Then the essays are distributed to the 3 adjudicators, or 4. This year it was 3. Dr. Lukman, based in Butterworth, myself, based in Komani, Grey Street campus, and Dr. Stanford Matenda, based in Umtata NMD campus. The number was great. The time was short, but we pushed very hard to ensure that those essays were assessed. And so the students that write very well, most of them using academic language, are the ones that are favorite. This year, the competition was tough. There were quite a number of 70s, but eventually we came up with the following winners. At number 1, with 80%, is Lindo Kukle Tonono, 80%. At number 2, with 79%, is Pila Sande Gatan. At number 3, we had a tie of 2 students. They were remarked and reassessed until came to a tie of 78% each. The 2 students who take up number 3 are Somila Manchinga and Kaya Kamlash. May I repeat the names of the winners? Lindo Kukle Tonono, number 1, 80%. Pilasande Nkatana, number 2, 79%. Somila Manchinga and Kaya Kamlashe, number 3, both of them with 78%. So usually, number 1 walks out with 5,000 Rand, number 2, 3,000 Rand, and number 3, 2,000 Rand. Now that we have a tie, they'll have to share 1,000 Rand each. Please, in your own space, clap or ululate for these wonderful students who wrote very well. Their essays are available. We are going to take them through a 3-day writing workshop so that they can publish a paper out of this. Previously, we had the same type of arrangement, and I'm happy to take that last year, one of the papers from the students was published in an D8 recognized journal. 2 were from Mutata campus and 1 was from Komani. Published in a recognized D8 journal. That is great news. I thank you, and I would like to return back to the program director. Oh yeah, lastly, I'd like to thank my fellow adjudicators for joining me in this journey. Thank you.
We really thank Dr. Anthony Masha, who has been committed in adjudicating and driving the adjudication process, putting a team together to make sure that we fairly judge the essays that come in from the various campuses, our students who are at an advanced stage. I now would like to cross over to the winner. I'm sure they did not know that they had won or that they came first place, but Lindo Kuhle Tonono, if you can just take the stage or the mic, the virtual platform that you have, and just give us a short reply to this win that you have now attained today and publish.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the Archbishop Makgoba Foundation, the Walter Sisulu Society at large, good evening. Joining you virtually is Lindokuhle Tonono, Advanced Diploma in Public Relations Management student at Ibiga campus. I stand before you today with a heart filled with gratitude for this incredible opportunity to delve into a topic that is not only close to my heart, but also crucial for the growth and prosperity of our nation. The significance of entrepreneurship in fostering the establishment of new enterprises, enhancing economic stability, and driving economic expansion among women in South Africa cannot be overstated. Sorry for that. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to the Archbishop Makgoba Foundation for allowing me the platform to share my views on this important topic. Being a kolula yona, but with the knowledge that I have and my writing skills, I managed to. In South Africa, where women have historically faced barriers to economic participation, fostering a culture of entrepreneurship among women is not just a matter of choice, it is a necessity. By providing women with the tools, resources, and support they need to start and grow their businesses, we are not only unlocking their potential, but also contributing to the broader economic development of the economy or of the country. I would also like to share a few words with the Walter Sisulu Society, more especially its students. I think competitions is Bumila Kanje Zinqabile, and it is advisable for us to take this opportunity. Once again, I extend my deep gratitude to the Archbishop Makgoba Foundation for this incredible opportunity to share my thoughts on such an important topic. Ndiyabulela.
Thank you so much. And these are the sort of students that we then produce who are able to speak so confidently in front of chiefs and deputy ministers. Congratulations once again, Lindo Kuhle. And Lindo Kuhle, you come from the deputy minister's constituency, parliamentary constituency. Ms. Matabo Hendricks will be in touch with all the winners as she does every single year, and we will facilitate the payments before the end of March that in fact, finance is here. It is finance that releases the payments at the end of the day, but they are very efficient in doing those payments to our winners. So congratulations, and spend that money very wisely. We have come to the end of our program, and the last item on our program or agenda for this evening will be the vote of thanks, which will be delivered by the Chief Operating Officer of Walter Sisulu University, my boss, Mr. Sinethemba Mpambane. Over to you, Mpati.
It's a little bit dark. So, thank you very much, Mambele. And let me start by introducing myself. My name is Sinethemba, and my surname is Mpambane. I work here at the university as a Chief Operating Officer. Kuba kukho inkosi. Ndosose ndizazisa nesiduko ndingowakwaKheswa njengoba ndiliKheswa ke kwakule ndawo endihleli kuyo ngoku kuba ndihleli ndodwa. So that's who I am. But let me start by greeting our Deputy Minister, bekuzathiwa KZN umntwana uPrince Zolile Burns-Ncamashe Zolile yajika. I made it a point that I have to get that one right. And I also would like to greet Unkosi Andile Makinani mhlanganisi. I'm also reliably informed that Unkosi Makinani is with Inkosikazi, yes, uLimise Makinani. Bulisa naye ngokumhlonipha umama. I would like to also greet zonke inkosi ezikhona ngokumakwazo. Our Archbishop osincede kakhulu ngale lecture, Archbishop Thabo Makgoba, nabo bonke abantu be-foundation abakhona, ndiyababulisa. Our Vice Chancellor in absentia, Professor Roshila Nolundi Sonca. I know Mamu Bandla ukhona, Mamu Cishe, our acting Deputy Vice Chancellor, all members of university management that are present, all deans, HODs. I think more importantly, our winners of the competition and that participated ngokuzikhandla ndiyababulisa. Mandikale ngokutsho nje uba wami umsebenzi umfutshane ukubulela abantu abathe bazosizimaza namhlanje. Deputy Minister, the university has adopted a policy of multilingualism. We have our languages that the university is using, which is isiXhosa, isilungu, kwakunye nesisuthu, acknowledging that we are in the Eastern Cape and within this region. These are the languages or this province that we felt that they need to be put into our policy as language of the institution. And sisebenza kakhulu ukuzama ukuphuhlisa olu lwethu lwimi lesiXhosa. Sinethemba ke ukuba neli lwesisuthu lizawulandela apha ngasemva. Siye sizame ke ukuqinisekisa uba olu lwimi lethu siyalisebenzisa kumaqonga afana nala. Lingasali lingasemva. Ndiyabulela ke nawe ndivile usinikeza ngakulo. Wami umsebenzi ke Deputy Minister kukubulela, most importantly ndibulela wena ngokuzosizimasa namhlanje, nangokuzinika ukutya kwendlebe, kodwa bingekutya kwendlebe kuphela, ibikwakutya komphefumlo. The Deputy Minister highlighted some few points which I will just hit on. He reminded us about the political gains that we have as a country as a result of our liberation. And he also made a call, more importantly, to young people and specifically to women, to set a vision for this country and let them take this vision forward. He also urged us to take issues into our own hands. And ndiyathemba ke ogxa bethu abamamele bavile. But more importantly, he said something that I would have been disappointed that the Deputy Minister would not have said that we must swell the ranks. Young people are asked to swell the ranks, and I can see young people are swelling the ranks. We just had a young person who, if ndinganikezwa isixoxo soba ngumprofeti ndingathi yi-academic elizayo eli. We want to see those essays being developed into treatises and to theses and to dissertations and coming through, and we have a strong demand for young black, particularly women academics in our environment, who going to come back, plow back, and swell the ranks of academia, so that singahambe sikhangele ezizweni xa sinida abantu abazawukhokhela ezi university zethu. So ngaloo mazwi ambalwa nokucaphula nje kancinci kumazwi ka-Deputy Minister, okwami kukubulela abantu abakhona, kudla ukuthiwa kapho sisuka khona iyeza libongwa, kodwa namhlanje ngeke singabongi ngexesha abantu abathe bazithoba ngalo, kuba namhlanje sifumene iyeza lomphefumlo. Enkosi Bhelekazi.
Thank you so much to the COO. We do apologize once again to the Mthatha community that was looking forward to welcoming us onto the campus. But again, I want to reiterate that due to unforeseen circumstances, we had to relocate, and we are broadcasting from a studio in Berea in East London. I also want to then thank the many that have been able to join us via Zoom, via Facebook, as well as our YouTube channel, and most importantly, the audience that is in the studio with us this evening. From myself, Yonela Tukwayo, the Executive Director of Marketing and Communication, thank you so much. Thank you once again to the Archbishop for entrusting us with your endowment fund to be able to pay for this sort of activity, as well as the monies that end up going to the winners themselves, also comes from the contribution that has been made by the Archbishop into the university. I ask that you will travel safely and that we will see you again soon with more of these sort of lectures that we will be delivering as a university. From the studio audience, thank you. You may join us for some refreshments at the back of this small studio of ours, and the rest of the audience watching us online, have a very good evening. Thank you.